welcome to Warblog. Today we're looking at Nanoa Island, China, 1950. Just getting my head around this actually. It's part of the Chinese Civil War, which started sort of, I don't know, in the 20s, something like that, and it went on basically until 1950, so this is sort of towards the end. There were no major battles in 1950, so this is just island clearance really. And holding this island. The thing is, you might sort of think, okay, well, this stack has got to take out this island and there's all these units, and I mean, it's not as though they've got things covered everywhere. Let me just check that. Yep, okay, I see, yep. So, just a bit distracted there. The point that I'm trying to get to is it might look like one little stack, but it's actually all of that. Now you can't see that in one screen load, but there's 35 units against 7. So that already is sort of 7, 14, 28. 5-1. So, not brilliant odds, but the thing is, clearly they're not going to land uniformly across. So the thing is, where would you land? And I really don't think there's any really big issues about this. The only thing you might say is, well, actually, I would have landed at somewhere where there was a port, or somewhere where I could readily create a beachhead. So you might say that there are only a few significant landing points on the map. For example, down here, Kungawa Bay, Chishu Bay. Obviously, these hexes could be deemed as sort of suitable landing points, whereas these might, theoretically you could land there, but they're not going to make for great beachheads. So you might want to say that you want to land at, say, well, the Shishi Peak is just actually sort of more a tourist destination. This is all a national park now. So you might want to sort of say, you're going to land somewhere for a particular reason, because otherwise you just sort of land, you come and land here. Now the thing is, I don't know where they landed. I don't know how they landed. I don't know whether or not they paratrooped in and then airlifted everyone in. I don't know whether or not there was only a few, they're all Marines in there, whether or not there was a few and then they all just basically debarked by ship. It only took place in 8 hours, so you've got to think, well, how did they get all these troops there? I don't know. Part and parcel of the reasons of doing these things, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose my landing point down here, because I think this is the most important part and I really want to go for it. Now this is one of the problems with lots of units. You've really literally got to do that. I mean, let's face it, there's 35 of them. I'm moving them 3, so it's over 100 mouse movements I've got to do, just sort of on a sort of production line approach. mean, that's because this is HTML. Let's put some down here just for the hell of it. Okay, so we've got our task force floating down here. Now, what we might sort of say is, oh, well, we can see that, so we're going to maybe bring these troops along here and potentially put these ones onto the road and to start to bring these guys round. They're probably going to be better. Okay. Okay. Right. So I've now undone the splitting them up, put them all back into the same stack. Okay, so we're teasing them. So that gives them a little bit of a warning, really. They can start to sort of try and race their troops around, but I don't think they're really going to get very far. So I can get 2, so I can go 1, 2. Quicker to just go across country. Okay, so we're in a zone of control there for some reason, but not to worry. Okay. Hard to know. No. See, when you get too excited like that, it just all goes pear-shaped. Okay, so the Marines are coming in. We should land next turn. Phew. Well, he's going to get stuck in his own control. But he can still get somewhere. Well, we can maybe try and prevent them from landing there. Okay. Well, looks like the naval landing is going to come in now. It might not have been the best way to do it because now they're sort of a little more prepared, and I can't land in my easy spot. I have to land in this terrain here. But I might as well. Well, that's interesting. So I think we can at least try an attack into there. No, we've got no movement. So, well, they obviously can't attack there, but they can at least contend that road. Or should they just move there? So it's all moving to sort of one central battle, really. Nothing they can do there. Okay. Well, let's try it. They're in agricultural. DE, which forced them back. I'm glad I got that DE roll in now because that would have been them eliminated, but because they were in good order, it's just pushed them back. But they've got 3 depressions, meaning that we can now land. They've got movement as well. Pushing it on a DR, push them back there. Oh. I wonder if we can get in here. Yep. Let's push 2 units in there just to block that road. Yep, we've still got enough to follow through on that. This entire battle took 8 hours, and I'm quite happy with the sort of the simulation of it. Really, I mean, it's always going to be a difficult one, but we've seen sort of some of the complexities with, I mean, it was only 3-to-1 odds, so it wasn't completely overwhelming them, so to speak, but we've managed to push these ones back. We've pushed these ones back twice now. Managed to block this road and actually develop strategic hold on the centre of the island, obviously. But here we can start to similarly counter-attack. Now these are going to be tougher because they're in the hills, so let's just do it. 1-to-1, so that's a brutal battle in the hills. So in the hills they're much tougher, so it's probably quite maybe a good idea to have taken these sort of lower lands first. Ooh. Germany nearly scored another country there. Anyway, so that was an exchange, which wasn't brilliant, which means that this hill fighting is going to be a lot tougher. Do we have anything left here? No. What about here? No. So, end that turn. Well, there's not really a lot that they can do. I'm going to leave these to recover. We can leave everything to recover, but what we would like to do is to start pushing round. So what I'd like to do is to sort of, well, I think I'm going to try and move him in there. He's just going to stay there, but I think I'm going to move him to there. So he's not going to recover, but at least he gets into that objective and that city and that town. Okay. Well, obviously we're going to have to sort of consolidate this area and develop a sort of a method for getting all these other units off the island. Now it could be that we decided to sort of actually deal with all these other units more directly, splitting them up, as opposed to now having to sort of chase them. But that was something else. Well, this should be enough. A 7-to-1 and a DR. We're going to have difficulty fighting these units in the hills, but we should be able to. I should be able to do it. In exchange, some bloody fighting in the hills. Okay, well they're doing their job there, although we might want to try and outflank. Here. We can try. They've completely gone around those units. So they're putting up a lot better defence than I thought they might. The Wikipedia says that they lost about 27 men, and all the rest were captured. So it could be that you have a rule that the first unit to get eliminated indicates the end of the game, or we haven't taken these objectives yet, so maybe we could say the end game is when we've taken their objectives, because I can't really imagine them actually stopping me from taking those objectives, and maybe I should have thought of that when I deployed my units, putting a third here, or half of them here and a quarter here and a quarter here, and that would have forced him to sort of split his units. And the other thing worth mentioning is that all the objectives are actually on more favourable terrain. They're all in the lowlands. This is actually plains. This is just woodland. So that could have been a good idea to have done it as well, to make it more efficient, because I'm still yet to get all the way down there, which is going to take time in its own right. Okay. Well, let's see how this works. Eliminated one unit. Probably eliminated both of them. DE, so they pushed him back. Well, I'm going to recover those. So, we've lost 2 units, so it's looking pretty tight. We've got this road covered and blocked. We'll leave him there. We could possibly move him into there. Okay. I mean, it's just really a matter of time, really, but you could put limits on it and sort of say if you can do it, this is the type of victory that you get by doing it within this particular sort of time frame, etc., etc. For example, I haven't actually entered Nanoa town yet. What I'm going to do here, I'm going to split some of these units in this direction, some of them here. He's going to recover for another turn, but that sort of stops him there. And let's see whether we can push into these hills. So they might lose quite a few battles, but they can afford to recover. They're not going to be counterattacked, and they only have to win a few. Like on this one, we won that one. Pushing them back into there. So there's really not a lot they can do. I mean, it might actually even be better retreating. I mean, there's no way they can get past this gap now. Okay. Okay, well, I'll definitely send some units down there. They've now fully recovered, so we're going to try it. Well, Well, let's just make sure we stop him from actually getting any further there. Let's try an attrition here. That was good. Not going to bother with that. Okay, well, they're still going to try and run away. They're sort of stuck. Let's just go for it. Well, he got a DR, so he had nowhere to retreat, so that's him out. I'm not sure what happened there. Well, it's really now just a case of sort of mopping up. We can either sit there, which you might as well. So that's the place to actually do the defence. I guess we can force them to chase me. Well, didn't think of that. I wonder whether that's proper. I only need 2 units in there. Presumably they've got naval facilities that can arrange and coordinate them nipping in and out of the ocean. Okay, so we've got those objectives. They can't just sit there now, so we might as well go back in there, and but he's a bit stuck. And he's going to have to pull back. Well, Okay. Well, I don't think he's still trying to run away. They're still trying to run away. He's just going to hold. I'm not going to do an attack there. Or am I? No. No. Next turn maybe. It's certainly shifting. We've gone from having our central cores here. We've gone from all the action being here to now being sort of here, here, and here. Oh. Well, he's going to hold in there, the last objective. DR. Did they run away? I don't think they did. An exchange, a bloody battle in the hills. He slowly, he did actually manage to escape. I mean, he came all the way around there to sort of cut that off, and he managed to plod through there. they're going to do one last attempt to hold that. So I've pushed him back out again. I still don't have movement. I keep doing that. I should add something, at least something to go in there. Okay, well, he's evaded one more turn. Oh, he's got one last stand in there. Let's just do this properly. We'll probably eliminate him this time. Yeah, it's typical. Okay, so we're in there. All this attention for just one guy. Okay, so he surrendered. We've got that. We're just chasing that. We're not going to bother with that attack. So that's that, really. I mean, it's one of those games where you know straight off from the start that it's just going to be a slugfest of winning. But I think even in that there were quite a few things to pick up and learn. For example, you know, actually thinking more strategically about where you land. The defensive position of the hills, the wooded hills, is actually pretty tough. You need lots of units just to sort of do that. You're going to do it in the end, but it's quite interesting that, I mean, I didn't do it deliberately, but all the objectives are on, less favourable terrain. So you could sort of apply quite a few strategies. Now, I think the strategy I did was sort of, quite reasonable, and that was to basically take the time to come down here, to split the island off, and then to go off in these directions like that, to sort of create that. But what I could have done, I think, and what I might be more tempted to do, just testing whether it works actually, what I might be more tempted to have done was to have actually landed here, here, and here. And even if it had meant sort of moving my troops around accordingly, I mean, that would be quite an extensive move. What I would like to do, I think, is to make marine movement faster, because I don't think there's any benefit to it being so slow. In fact, it is quite slow. I mean, I suppose you could, in theory, go faster along the motorway, and you could, if you're in a boat and chasing a boat, etc. But I think that would be the better way to have done it, and to have taken this unit out, these units out, and then sort of say, well, how quickly can you take these units? How quickly could you take your objectives? And then to just sort of assume from there that once the objectives have gone, that the defending units will surrender. Because again, it's one of these games, because it doesn't have an overall morale sort of system or function in it. You can go right down to the end, and presumably they would have retreated. They would have routed earlier. But then again, you don't necessarily know that, because they didn't have the sort of same level of communications. I mean, unless they actually had radio contact with sort of the central command, they might have, actually just held their ground as best they could to the bitter end. I don't know, but I think that it would have been better to split the forces up. Not for any particular reason, because I just think from a time perspective, because what happened was, these units all came down here. All the enemy converged around here for no real reason at all, but it made it a little more complex, I think. And I think the thing to do would be to split that force up, and to split these ones up and to shield from there, which is what we did on this front. We did shield that. We plonked in there and there, which stopped these units from coming round. But the thing is, they don't have any offensive capability. There's no way they could counter-attack or counter-strike. I could maybe put in some artillery. That might have given them a little bit of an edge, because you can always do some damage with the artillery, and it always changes the sort of the imperative to some extent. But it's an interesting game, actually. So I'm going to leave it at that. But if you think that you can maybe do this better, or you just like to sort of have a twiddle so that you can get a better understanding for this period, sign up and give it a twirl. I'll speak to you later. Cheerio.